Jeff Gordon, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400. Jeff Gordon wins the 1998 Brickyard 400.
Jeff Gordon becomes a three-time winner of the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis.
For the fourth time in 11 years, Jeff Gordon will win the Brickyard 400.
This is a special place. I love racing here. I love winning here. Growing up here in Indiana, following Indy cars and the Indy 500 as a kid, this might be the place for me to be the top one.
This racetrack is the most prestigious racetrack in the world. All the heroes and the Hall of Famers and the best drivers succeed here.
Green flag is in the air. It's a dead heat as they'll now race into turn one. Gordon dives to the inside of Harvick looking for the lead.
All clear, tucked in behind you, all clear.
My car was really handling well the first 8 or 10 laps. Then I really started sliding around.
For the first 20 laps, Jeff Gordon had nothing but clean air in front. Now he's got to fight for position on the racetrack.
I knew right then, okay, this is not going to be an easy day.
Just rolling to the middle a little bit better than we are. Got to get that fixed.
I don't know what perfect is. I've never experienced it. You know, in every race, you're gonna have to overcome adversity.
We had a few issues on pit road.
You gotta be away from the wall a little bit more next stop.
We just kind of took a deep breath after that and reset.
We're all gonna make mistakes, but it's how you rebound from those mistakes. And all I know is that last pit stop was a great one. And it didn't give us the lead, but it put us right there on KC.
We're good. Just keep thinking about it. We gotta find a way here. You can do this.
You get the feeling Gordon felt like he could make the pounce on the last lap.
Out ahead to 83, rolling the apron out of power.
Somebody get off on one of those exits.
Ryan Truex really slowed down out on the racetrack. NASCAR forced to throw the yellow flag.
I didn't want to see the caution. Restarts have not necessarily been great for me, especially today.
All right, here we go. Be aggressive here.
I was happy Casey took the inside because I was just hoping I could get to his outside, get to his door, maybe loosen him up a little bit, and that's exactly what happened.
Off turn two, Jeff Gordon is the new race leader. He has taken the top spot away.
Nice and smooth. Drive away.
Jeff Gordon masterfully on the restart, got to the point, and he is gone.
Once I cleared him, I was just relieved, and I was like, okay, now let's go win this thing.
Fans are witnessing history. Indiana's own Jeff Gordon down through turn four for the final time.
Bring it home, bud.
He now belongs exclusively to a fraternity of one. The only five-time winner of the Brickyard 400 is Jeff Gordon.
Kiss the brick, baby. Yes, it's you guys. You did this. Brickyard 400.
It means a lot personally for me, to help him kind of put himself into a level no one's ever obtained, with 5 wins at this speedway is just phenomenal.
Yeah, buddy. Greatest song called over. You are the best. What did I tell you this morning? What did I tell you when I got here?
Yes, sir. I'm so glad we brought it home for you, boss. Thanks for coming, buddy.
Life is good. I have this amazing family that goes through the ups and downs of racing with me. So right now, I'm on top of the world. Life could not be any better than it is right now in this moment.
Watching the fuel man. Whoa. Oh, man.
We gotta get that fixed.
Feeling loose. It was just fine by myself. As soon as all those guys got around me, even behind me, in front of me, wrecking loose.
Off turn two, Jeff Gordon is the new race leader. He has taken the top spot away.
Nice and smooth. Drive away.
He now belongs exclusively to a fraternity of one. The only five-time winner of the Brickyard 400.
Kiss the brick, baby. Yes, it's you guys. You did this. Brickyard 400. What did I tell you this morning? What did I tell you when I got here?
Yes, sir. I'm so glad we brought it home for you, boss.
All right, here we go. Be aggressive here. Pace cars, I'll be ready. And... Moving. Straddle and two. Still there, still. All clear, double wide behind you. The 18's cleared him, you got 2 on him. Nice and smooth, drive away. One more time, bud. You got a lot of room behind you. Hit your mark. But all good here. Put it on 2. Switch to 2 for me. Hold it there, bud. God, I love this race team. You guys are so awesome. That is unbelievable. Yes! It's you guys. You did this. Brickyard 400! Yeah, buddy. Greatest all time, baby. You are the best. We're going to kiss the bricks, boys. Kiss the brick, baby. What did I tell you this morning? What did I tell you when I got here? Yes, sir. I'm so glad we brought it home for you, boss. Thanks for coming, buddy. Let's go kiss those bricks. Way to go, bro. God, I finally had the restart of my life. Yeah, you did. Right when we needed it. Great car, Alan. Great job, guys.
Front row starter Jeff Gordon with the sprint camera. Definition onboard views that you just saw available for you there as well. NASCAR.com/here and be back well in time for the green flag. Field. Pace cars off. Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon lead the field to the start of the Brickyard 400.
Here last night. What they're facing here is not like anything they've seen because there were cars on the track before they...
Harvick will lead lap 1, but here comes Gordon, who is inside.
Gordon's shown strength all weekend long, qualified on the front row and now taking the lead.
Yeah,
Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, I just talked to Jeff a few minutes before the start of this race, before we went on air. He was very excited about his race car. But his one concern was as the day goes on, he said, my car's a little bit tight. That makes me be able to go fast and attack this place. If I try to adjust that out, though, instead of getting that out, it goes into a 4-wheel slide. So he's a little concerned as to how this track will change throughout these 400 miles. Possibility for him getting that Brickyard trophy today.
It looks like Jeff Gordon's putting all 20 years experience he's had at this track to use. He's pulled out to about 1.7 seconds.
Through the top 20 here. Jeff Gordon has talked about a drive for 5, a 5th NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship, leads the standings coming in. He's also in a drive for 5, a 5th Brickyard 400 victory. The green flag is just waved at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the 2014 Brickyard 400. The field of 43 roaring off into turn 1. And when they came off of turn 4, Jeff Gordon roared by Kevin Harvick into the race lead, and Gordon is out in front at lap number 9. Visit Chevy.com to learn more about the all-new Chevy Silverado, the 2014 North American Truck of the Year. Jeff at work, easing out a lead of 2.2 seconds on Kevin Harvick, really showing some serious muscle in the early laps with this car.
Yeah, he sure is, but I will be very interested as this racetrack takes rubber and things go on throughout the day. It looks like it's probably going to stay overcast. Jeff was kind of happy about that as I talked with him, but see how the track surface itself may change, then can they keep up with that?
I know anytime I've ever had a car that would jump out front like that early, it always made me nervous to think that, okay, we're good now. What are we going to be when the track does get like it's going to be at the end of the race? And we know this one's going to change a lot because of all the rain.
Now, tying the rain together in that lap counter you see top of the screen, there's going to be a competition caution at lap 20 to allow the teams to check the tire wear and so on this racetrack that can be difficult on the rubber. Leaping forward from there to strategy.
It prevailed for Ryan Newman and his team.
So competition caution coming, and the first wave of pit stops and strategy on its way in a few moments. Jeff Gordon has led all of the laps so far in this one at the Brickyard 400. The former Pittsburgh, Indiana resident in the lead. Up on its 50-mile mark, and a competition caution with Jeff Gordon having led all but the first lap of the race, now catching the tail end of the field and beginning to put some cars a lap down. Reminder, NASCAR.com/RaceBuddy has enhanced race action today live from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A lot of great onboard views for you in this one. Look at the gap, first to second. Yeah, that's Kevin Harvick way back there. Jeff Gordon has had some pace in this opening run.
Yeah, he really has. I mean, that car's just been flawless, and you give Jeff Gordon a car like that, and this is exactly what you expect to see.
Jeff Gordon, he's putting a lot of people to work. He pulled 4 seconds plus on second place. So a lot of guys know that they have work to do if they're going to catch him, if the track doesn't change, against Jeff Gordon. Didn't seem to really hurt him too much that run, though.
Not at all. Pit road is open. Time for the crews to get busy. Joey Logano popping out of line there, staying out.
Yeah, I'll explain that.
Well, it's been a dominant car so far for Jeff Gordon. Early on, he said it was a little tight into 2 and 3, but his primary complaint was loose off 1 and 2. No major changes, just right sides and Sunoco fuel. The 55 of Brian Vickers, he's loose off. Again, no changes, but 4 tires for the 55. Jamie?
Brad Keselowski just says he is loose, especially off of 2. The call is for right side tires only, and they stick with it. Dave?
Kevin Harvick was asked if 2 rounds down in the track bar is too much for his tight race car. He said no. That's what they did 4.
And a real split agenda there with the 2-tire, 4-tire.
See the difficulty right there from Austin Dillon trying to make a pass down the inside of another car through these tight corners.
Then you'll find Jeff Gordon back in 4th place instead of racing Logano for the lead. Behind Gordon, the other big loser in that exchange, who got bottled up behind Jeff, was Brad Keselowski. These corners, that even though it appears that all the drivers would drive the same at the corner, there are actually a lot of tactical things they're doing behind the wheel to try and gain an advantage.
Yeah, and it depends on which position you're in, and we saw one of them right there, Jeff Gordon, sneaking his nose out to the left just to get some air on the front end. Don't go in those tire tracks because you're getting nothing to the front end of your car. Yeah, you don't have the best angle as you make that approach, but that air is more important to do that. And you can see right here, Jimmy Johnson losing 2 spots. I really quite, he's been able to stay up there, but I think Johnson's going to suffer as we go on in this run, not having any tires on that car.
Gordon to third, Harvick to fourth, Jimmy Johnson back to fifth.
Like their teammate, right sides was the call once again. That's what he just did. So they will top it off with fuel. Save as much time on pit road as possible.
While Keselowski and the others make their pit stops, Kevin Harvick catching Jeff Gordon to try and fight for second place. Well, that was a lot going on. After starting in 15th place, there's Jeff Gordon with Casey Kane, cycling back to 29th and 30th in this mix-around of pit stops. And Kane and Gordon are 40 seconds behind Kyle Larson, but on the lead. Jeff Gordon trying to get Kyle Busch for 25th place. Watching the fuel man. Whoa.
Oh, man.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, they did make the pit stop though under caution, and they looked like they got one can in. If that's the case, he's probably close to being full.
Vince, what can you tell us?
Yeah, indeed. That's the whole reason they went with the 4-tire changes to get the second can of fuel in. But as you saw, the fuelman just slipped and couldn't ever engage that fuel can in. So Alan Gustafson was frustrated with it. But the car is good. That's the good news. So 4 tires, but just that one can of fuel got in the 24. Certainly a bad break for Gustafson and Gordon and company.
Now they're going to have to come into, start to look at the calculations and see if they've got enough fuel, and hope it doesn't add another pit stop to their strategy. I mean, it probably won't. It looks like that second can may be only a gallon or two that they were going to need out of it.
But you got to be perfect all day long. That was a moment of imperfection. No, where they can back time from the lap they pitted to the checkered flag and minimize the number of stops they make no matter what circumstances present themselves, cautions or otherwise. Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick, the top 2 that are in that group. As far as progress charging back forward through the field, Harvick is running in 5th. Jeff Gordon is running in 6th. So after these other guys make pit stops in the next few laps that are in front of them, that's going to become the race for the lead.
Yeah, it will be. And just behind Jeff Gordon is Casey Kane. And I think that what we're going to see here are the 4 tires.
And Jeff Gordon has kind of been on a bit of a mission, working his way back up through some of the traffic after that pit stop earlier. We showed you that they had the hiccup on the pit stop and might not have gotten it completely full of fuel. That plus a little bit of aggressive driving by the guy behind the wheel to make up some of the ground.
And we've been on a mission since the green flag.
Got a good car. You want to go. You don't want anything stopping you in your way. You can see they're going by a slower car. This is a huge move right here by Jeff Gordon.
Still there. All clear, all clear. All right, 2 more slow ones ahead.
Wow.
I can guarantee you that took Logano by surprise just a little bit. I think he didn't expect that happening.
Martin Truex, Eric Almirola, David Gilliland, David Reagan pitting. So Denny Hamlin and Trevor Bayne remain on the racetrack. Then it gets back to Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon. To the race lead with that gap over Jeff. Be a good one tonight. Good rivalry here. Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, 4 and 24. 2 former winners here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway racing for the lead. And updates on both of these cars. First, we start with Dave.
Alan, these 2 cars were talked about around the garage as the 2 cars to beat today by quite a few other teams. Idea for Harvick, Vince.
Well, and as expected, a brand new race car for the 24. Jeff Gordon here at Indianapolis, as many teams do. And crew chief Alan Gustafson told me it has the latest and greatest of everything, but the improvement is all about efficiency. Everything is a little better. No huge gains, but the aero, engine, and cooling system right on down the line, all a little bit better in this car, and it has been bad fast all weekend long. They did have one hiccup. The fueler fell on that last pit stop. They didn't get the second can in, but the team tells me they were going to put in just a very small amount, so they don't feel like it's any harm to them at this point.
All right, Vince, thanks. Watching Jeff with our Pennzoil telemetry. Cracking 200 miles an hour, roaring down the back straightaway, trying to track down Kevin Harvick. Now, at the start of the race, it was Harvick, Gordon, and Brad Keselowski. Back live at Indianapolis, the race leaders are on pit road. Jeff Gordon passed Kevin Harvick in turn 3. Then Harvick followed Gordon to the pit lane off turn 4, Vince.
Was a reminder to Jeff Gordon, 4,600 on the RPM. Don't speed on pit lane. It's going to be 4 tires, and Alan Gustafson reminded his crew, we got to get it full of fuel this time. So far, a smooth stop. A little bit of trouble on the left rear. Stuck on him. Still waiting on fuel in a way.
Seems like almost an endless wave of green flag pit stops today. And leaves Denny Hamlin as the race leader for the moment. Check out the driver that's led the most laps today, brought to you by the Sprint Unlimited Family Plan. Jeff Gordon out in front for 20 of the 68 laps in this one. Denny Hamlin has led the next most laps at 14. Get unlimited data, talk, and text for as low as $45 per month with 7 people. Visit sprint.com/speed or a Sprint store today. Happy connecting, race fans.
And as I look at this, there's 2 drivers back there that are a lap down in particular. Dale Jr. Is also that. But
free pass. Yep.
Pass. But I see Kurt.
Strategy filled. Interesting.
Place. First car 1 lap down. Couple of more by Hamlin. Joey Logano's gotten by Jeff Gordon. Now here's Jeff working on Denny. So let's talk about the strategy for Denny Hamlin and everybody else. Hamlin last pitted at lap 55. And if you divide up the number of laps in the race and so on, what Denny and team are trying to do is stick to a schedule where they can make the distance on one last pit stop.
Or thereabouts. So that should get them close, providing everything else works, but they've lost some ground now.
Yeah. 160 lap race today, as you see top of the screen. Jeff Gordon by Joey Logano, 4th place there. Gordon starting on the very first lap of the race. Got by Kevin Harvick from the outside pole starting position and led a lot of laps in the early going. And Jeff. Top 4. Gordon closing in on Harvick.
Well, Casey Kane jumped to the inside as Hamlin slid up there in turn 1. He hasn't looked back. He's put almost 3 seconds.
Like to change that today. Jeff Gordon with a peek inside Harvick for 3rd place. That wasn't 1 wicket.
That was 3 of them, wasn't it?
But as I talk to these drivers, the challenge that they face is they get that in that situation on this racetrack in particular, as they try to pick up behind someone, where we used to complain a lot about the cars, you'd lose the nose there. Well, that's completely different now. Now it makes them actually loose because of the turbulence of the air and the way that it's going about this, so they can't change it too much or they'll be on the other side and wrecking loose.
Halfway through the race at Indianapolis today, the Crown Royal
certainly comes to mind of a driver being able to handle that type of situation.
These 2 cars have been so equally matched from the start of the race. That's why I was kind of watching those 2 to see if this might favor one or the other. But so far, they're still glued to each other.
Jeff Gordon in 4th, chasing Kevin Harvick in 3rd. Also mentioned Denny Hamlin. Jeff Gordon under Kevin Harvick. And through. That's 3rd place now for Gordon, who started on the front row and led a lot of the early going.
And they've told Jeff Gordon, you're good to go. They've also just 1 more stop after this one. They've also asked him not to pull so close to the wall this time. 4 tires and fuel. They've not made a chassis adjustment to this car all day long. Going to put a 2nd can of fuel in it as well. And let's go to Jamie Little. A clean stop so far for the 24.
Jeff Gordon looking to make 3 wide. Gordon's going to have to dig hard right here. He can't afford to give up any more spots. He's got to stay in touch with those first 4. He's going to have a shot at winning this race.
Great move by Gordon, though, to get back in line. And the power around the outside of Logano.
And a chase down. Jeff Gordon looking on Kevin Harvick. Trying to rally back after giving up a few spots on that restart.
Jeff has a good car today.
He has been on the wheel, too, all day. He has been on a mission to try to take over and get that number 5 win before anybody else is able to accomplish that. There he goes around Harvick.
4th place now for Jeff. 10 at the Brickyard.
That it's full, but like he said, it's kind of it's a little blurry because you don't know if it's exactly full or not the way these vents and these cans work.
Saw the trash on the grill of the 18 car. If you noticed, as Jeff Gordon went by, Kyle trying to cut hard in behind him, and that piece of whatever it was. So Jeff Gordon up to 2nd now. Hendrick Motorsports cars running 1st and 2nd with Casey Kane and Jeff Gordon. Jimmy Johnson running 9th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 15th. There's the gap 1st to 2nd.
Right now, Jeff Gordon has the best car. He's actually about a 10th or 10th and a half better than Casey Kane, who's running in 1st. So it won't be too long he'll be able to race some of that 2.1 second gap.
Watching Jeff Gordon eat into Casey Kane's lead the last few laps around, Gordon's been about a 10th to a 10th and a half of a second quicker. He's got 2 seconds to make up, but that was 2.5 seconds when he passed Kyle Busch. Slowly easing toward the front. Jeff Gordon in search of a 5th win in the Brickyard 400. He won the first one in 1994. Can he win the 21st today?
They've not made a chassis adjustment on the 24 of Jeff Gordon all day long. They've had a couple of bobbles in the pit lane, but it's been nearly flawless everywhere else. A clear window shield for Gordon. It's going to be a 4-tire change. Now the 2nd can of fuel is going in, a critical element there to make sure he's got enough to get to the end, and it's a clean stop. Dave.
Kevin Harvick's car, remember, very, very tight.
Whether the 5 car can make it to the end. Now, they only went about, 29 laps on that run. They're going to have to go about 33 to the finish, so that's going to put them really, really close. I'm sure they're nervous about it. Probably more nervous about Jeff Gordon. He's coming now.
I was going to say, as Kane tries to work traffic, he caught Landon Castle in the 40 at a tough spot. Here comes Gordon with a full head of steam.
And he needs to take it or to get this spot right now. If he can do it.
Casey doesn't want to give it up, does he?
No, he sure didn't. He had Gordon pedaling the throttle right there, and you could see he was able to stretch out just a little bit.
So what is likely the final round of pit stops in the race, at least under green. And for these leaders, if there's any way they can help it. Jeff Gordon stalking Casey Kane for the #1 spot. Kyle Busch 2.5 seconds back. Then it's 16 seconds back to Matt Kenseth, who's in 4th place.
Well, the one thing Gordon can do right now is force Casey to run just as hard as he possibly can. If he's close on fuel, it'll run him out.
Difficulty of passing, though. Kane can't afford to let Gordon go by just to save some fuel, even because Gordon is shown to be probably the best car here, even though Casey has been able to lead the most laps. Wow, look at this.
Looking in, he's there, he's there.
Yeah, but look at Casey power up on the outside like that. That's pretty strong, too.
That's something we've seen Jeff Gordon do all day, drive that car deep into the corner.
And is it so evident how bad he wants this 5th win here at Indy?
Yeah.
got back to the throttle, but he lost the nose there in doing that.
.26 to go. Will it be a two-car fight to the finish? Will it be these two? Will a caution come out, change the picture completely? Jeff Gordon continuing to hunt the lead. Kasey Kahne continuing to hold him off. Kasey Kahne trying to shut out Jeff Gordon here from the lead in the Brickyard 400. 22 laps to go. The picture exactly as it was when you left it. About the same gap between the two. Now they're coming up on some lap cars. Caution out. Slow car on the racetrack that's going to... And that is a huge reset button pressed on this race.
They're telling you to go back up and pass them.
5 is the leader. Kasey Kahne. Certainly.
Yeah, certainly some will. The question is, will the 5 and the 24 and the 18, will these guys duck down pit road too?
Caution is going to help the 5 if they stay out, because if he was concerned about being short on fuel, running around under the caution is going to gain him some savings.
Five's too short. 4 good. So just save. Just keep thinking about it. We got to find a way here. You can do this.
Alan Gustafson to Jeff Gordon.
See Rick Hendrick, Doug Ducard on the back of the box. That's Alan Gustafson on the near side, the crew chief.
Because he knows we're close. He's going to make it hard on us to save.
Yeah, he is. He's going to run just as hard as he can, and that's his job. He's supposed to try to make Kasey run harder than he wants to, not let him save any fuel.
Make him keep up with the pace car, not shut that thing off and coast too much either. Pit road open here. 18 laps to go when we get the green flag a lap from now. Down to pit road, Vince.
With the crew chief for Jeff Gordon, Alan Gustafson. First of all, Alan, any question at all that you're good on fuel?
No, we're good on gas. You know, we could have 3 green, white checkers and it could get close, but we're good.
How important is the restart, considering you've had a couple of stumbles at the restart today?
And the restart's going to be the race, really. I think we might be able to pass Kasey if we get out behind him, but if we lose more than that, it's over.
Thanks, Alan.
Denny ran up from 14th to 6th in the running order during that last round of green flag pit stops. That's where he gained all the track position. So Kasey Kahne going to try and hold off Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, and the rest of them on this restart.
Keep saving as long as you can there. I will. My tires are filthy. And try to get them cleaned up the best you can, obviously.
Yeah, that's the one thing about trying to save fuel under caution. It's hard to keep the tires clean.
You heard Alan Gustafson say it. This restart will be the moment of the race. The moment of the race brought to you by Dairy Queen. Pun intended. Going to be a blizzard of activity right here.
Here we go.
Pace car's off. 17 laps to go at the Brickyard.
Jeff Gordon's really going to have to take the lead from Kasey Kahne, because if he doesn't, he's probably going back to at least 30.
He did it! And it's Kahne that goes back to 3rd and maybe 4th.
That's what I say. Now it's put Kasey Kahne on the defensive. Here comes Matt Kenseth 3 wide. And look at Hamlin.
You have to wonder there with that restart, did Kasey Kahne not get his tires cleaned off enough to make that car stick and keep the lead?
In 1 lap. determined driving from Jeff Gordon, because Jeff didn't get away quite so good at the drop of the green flag, but boy, he drove it into turn one again.
I think you're right. Just the determination I've seen, the intensity and the driving of Jeff Gordon since the start of this race. He meant to take the lead away from Casey Kane right here.
Yeah, Kane got down in okay, but you can see his car really wiggling around there, not able to get back in the throttle.
Yeah, you see some intensity on that pit box too.
Now, I think this whole thing started with Casey Kane. We said it back whenever he pitted a couple of laps earlier than Jeff Gordon and other Hendrick teammates, that they put themselves in a position of just having to worry about fuel so much. Casey was riding around out there having to save so much fuel under that caution that he didn't get his tires cleaned up.
I see with the engine turned off, the power steering doesn't work. You obviously can't drive the rear wheels to clean the rear tires off. That's what happens, and it just starts collecting all the marbles off the racetrack. Didn't get them cleaned up.
1.2 seconds, the lead from Jeff Gordon back to Kyle Busch. And then from Kyle, a similar distance back to Denny Hamlin in third. It was over to Jeff Gordon's charity bowling tournament that he runs here in Indianapolis every year. His foundation always to benefit the Riley Children's Hospital in Indianapolis. And Jeff has all the children who are being treated for cancer, and the doctors and nurses who treat them over, and raises a lot of money for the cause for 13 straight years now. And I spoke with Jeff about his season so far, and he talked about basically the same things that Ray Evernham talked about in our Professor Ray piece on Countdown earlier. Great cars, great engine, a great pit crew, and the communication between he and his crew chief Alan Gustafson and the confidence they're showing back and forth in each other is as good as it's ever been. And that's why he's leading the championship standings. He said, I want a couple of more wins going into the chase. You're going to have to be able to win this championship, but I feel great about our season so far.
You know, I think what I see and get from Jeff is a determination there, because you started to hear some things. And Andy, I'm going to go back to a time that you went to Richard Childress Racing with Dale Earnhardt. People were starting to talk about Earnhardt maybe had lost a little bit, didn't have that determination, desire. He had made too much money, won too much. And I think Jeff's heard a lot of those things. Earnhardt and you certainly proved people wrong, and I think Jeff's out to do that too.
Yeah, I knew when I went to overtake that job that he wasn't finished winning, and I'm pretty convinced that Jeff Gordon didn't either. I think he may have another championship in him.
Vince is in Jeff Gordon's pit.
You know, Jeff Gordon has won this race 4 times before, but his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, has never been part of a win at the Brickyard. And he told me this morning, I want this race more than any other. This track is the pinnacle. It's the world stage to me. And regardless of your discipline of racing, it's special to win at Indy. I've never done it. I want it. And I believe we've got a chance to do it today. So that's why you saw that emotion from Alan Gustafson when Jeff Gordon had that restart and took the lead from Casey Kane. It means the world to the crew chief, just like it does the driver.
Jeff Gordon leads everything here at the Brickyard, including today's race. One of just 2 drivers now that have been in every one of the 21 runnings of the Brickyard 400. Bobby Labonte, the other, in the field today.
Just have a hard time thinking of a time that he wasn't here in the mix running well and things going for Jeff Gordon. Obviously winning that first one was tremendous for him and for the sport, for this speedway, for everything. And having an outstanding day here today.
Which was the one, was it when Menard won or when McMurray won, when Gordon was chasing him down on the fresher tires in the late laps, and Paul was trying to save fuel, and he charged and charged and charged and came so close and fell short.
Just so good here, and when even times he's won a couple of, maybe when he didn't have the very best car. I chased him down here one day, thought that I was going to beat him for sure, but he finds a way to keep you back there to get the job done. Not just me, but plenty of others that have tried that too. He's just a master at this track.
10 laps to go. If you're a numbers fan, recent history says the guy leading with 10 to go is going to take home the trophy and kiss a brick. We know this is racing and things can happen, but for now, Jeff out in front and building on his lead over Kyle Busch. It's up now to a 2.5 seconds.
It's a 2.5 seconds, but this again has been an outstanding day for Kyle Busch and this team. They didn't have the car at the beginning of this race. Of course, the track changed a lot. I think that came to them probably with their setup a little bit and then making a few.
So coming to 8 to go, the Crown Royal presents the John Wayne Walding 400 at the Brickyard. 21st running of the Brickyard 400 today. Jeff Gordon says when he comes here, the cheers for him are a little louder than at any other place he goes. And he says, quote, "I love it." Of course, Jeff and his family moved from California to the Indianapolis area because there were racetracks here that would allow a teen of less than 16 years old to race a full-size sprint car and a full-size race car. And by that time, Jeff had shown the aptitude and real skill for it. So his family moved here, and they lived in Pittsboro, Indiana, just outside of the direct Indianapolis area, and spent the formative years of his career, if you will, here, the Thursday Night Thunder series here on ESPN, where Jeff came to be known to many across the country through his exploits in the USAC midgets and sprint cars and Silver Crown. And then he made his move to go NASCAR racing. That was the direction his career took. But that very first Brickyard 400 here in 1994, when Jeff, many considered still one of their local sons, drove to victory lane in this speedway's first stock car race. One of those moments that for everyone who was here or watching that day just sort of considered destiny and magic. The local kid wins at the Brickyard in the first stock car race here.
Yeah, and he hasn't stopped since then either. So, you know, he was one of the first one, especially in the modern area, that came from that open wheel background that has been extremely successful. Jeff came in to start racing stock cars in what is now the Nationwide Series, and it was for Bill Davis and some others in that he was able to do that. But Rick Hendrick saw the talent here, signed him up, and you know, they've got 4 championships and 4 Brickyards to this point to talk about, along with a lot of other wins.
Stretching it out over Kyle Busch, now up to 2 seconds. 6 laps to go. Yeah, Dale, it's a favorite saying of yours that the big drivers and the big teams win the big races on the big stage. We talked about at the top of the broadcast how this is the most challenging track a driver can face. And Andy, what a stressful day that this is on the crew chief to get the car prepared right and call the strategy right. And for Jeff to be facing a 5th win in this race and at this place, that's a statement all in itself in that context.
Yeah, it really is, and certainly has to put them towards the top as we talk about championship contenders this year, because when you do perform here, that means you can go all of these other places. But just talk about what a champion that he is and has been over these years, and how he gets up for this
5
race
to go here.
and the job that he does. And you know, Will, as we ride along with him here, yeah, there's only 5 laps to go. He's out front. He's got the race car he's shown, but this is still stressful driving in these last 5 laps. That's still a lot of miles that you have to go, 4 distinct corners that you have to navigate. You can't make a mistake whatsoever.
He was 23 years old when he won his first Brickyard 400. He's 43 now. I'm telling you, he's driving as hard as I've ever seen him right now, this moment.
Inside the car, you're driving, fearing the caution.
Yeah, right now, that's one of your thoughts. You got 2 long straightaways. You take a glance down at your gauges, take a glance in the mirror, and the other time that you use down that straightaway is praying that there's not a caution, because you know you've got it well in hand.
I promise you the crew chief's doing the same thing. He's up there thinking, the only thing that can mess this up is a caution and a weird restart. We've got the best car, and now 4 laps to go. And I'll tell you, these will be the 4 longest laps that Alan Gustafson's ever sat through.
We talked about keys to the race is handle down the straightaway, get the strategy right. Certainly this 24 car
Bring it home, bud. 3 to go at the 1.
handled down the straightaway awfully well today, and Alan Gustafson has called the right race as the circumstances unfolded.
They've done everything that you have to do, and you know, we're looking right here with 3 laps to go that, you know, the dominance of Chevrolet at this racetrack. This is looking at 12 straight.
I was with Alan Gustafson in the garage area this morning. He was standing right over that car and had this extremely concerned look on his face. And I walked up to him and I said, "Looks like you got a great chance today." And he said, "Yeah, I know it." He said, "I just hope we get it right."
And the other third point of our keys to the race at the start of the day was restarts and how important they would be.
Wow. And he did it from the outside. I mean, that was just so impressive for Jeff Gordon to dig down in there, knowing, and he knew in his mind, if he did not take the lead as I stayed there, that he was going to fall back and probably wasn't going to be able to make that time up and go get the leader.
Up to 2.3 seconds for Jeff. You see the top 5 have somewhat spread.
And we talk about how much this means to the drivers, and Andy, you've talked about to the crew chiefs, but it's a huge event and celebration for the entire team to come here because of everything that goes on. This big victory lane is huge. Everybody gets a celebration there and be a part of that. The ceremony afterwards to go out and kiss the bricks and all of that. So it becomes a huge team effort, and everybody gets that celebration that maybe you don't at a lot of other places.
And it takes the whole team to make. You have to have everything right to win here. And the whole team is invested in this race.
While we watch Jeff work through these final 2 laps, just to mention a couple of other stories to kind of tie up drivers' days. Kevin Harvick running in 8th position now after contending for the lead and starting on pole early. Dale Earnhardt Jr. rallying back into the top 10. He's running 9th at the moment. Brad Keselowski running 13th. Jimmy Johnson has faded to 14th. Tony Stewart runs 17th. And we also mentioned Juan Pablo Montoya earlier. He's in 23rd. Kurt
one more time, buddy. You got a lot of room behind you. Hit your marks.
And we pointed out early on, they've had a lot of very good races, but just find ways not to win once again today.
Already there, bud.
He's in the last lap. And as we look out the window across at the grandstands, all the fans that are here at the Speedway today are now on their feet, watching to see if Jeff Gordon comes back around to take another checkered flag. Final corners. He won the first one in 1994. 20 years later, he wins the 21st. Checkered flag in the Brickyard 400 to Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, buddy. Greatest photos over here on the best. We're going to kiss the bricks, boys. Kiss the brick, baby. What did I tell you this morning? What did I tell you when I got here? Yes, sir. I'm so glad we brought it home for you, boss. Thanks for coming, buddy. Come kiss those bricks. Guys are so awesome. That is unbelievable. Yes! It's you guys. You did this. Awesome. Awesome job, Eddie. God, I finally had the restart of my life.
Yes, you did. Right when he needed it.
What a day for Jeff Gordon, Rick Hendrick, Alan Gustafson, and their team. Vince?
Alan Gustafson shaking the hands of each and every one of his crew members who have done such a terrific job today. Before the race this morning, we talked about this race, and you talked about the significance of possibly winning it. Now that you've done it, what's it mean?
I'm having a terrible interview because it's just unbelievable. You know, I want to win this race my whole life, win here. It's an unbelievable place in the history of this racetrack, and Jeff's amazing record here. And, you know, this is the one. This is the one for me. I'm so proud of everybody at the 524 shop. Casey had a great run, and it's a new car, and just a ton of work to it, ton of work into it, and those guys, they did it. They're the best.
Congratulations. Doc.
With Rick Hendrick, and Rick, 20 years ago this saga began. He made history in 94, and he did it again today with his 5th victory. What's this mean to you and your team?
I told him. That's how I feel. You know, I told him this morning, I said, this is your day. And he's been so good on the long runs at every track, and he gets around this place so well. But for him to break that tie, it's pretty special. And we're a little bit older than we were 20 years ago, but it's a great win. And this is, what a way for Jeff here in Indianapolis, where this is his home track. And I remember even the first one, how good it felt. This one feels just as good.
We'll let you go, my friend. You have some bricks to go kiss. Go celebrate.
Okay, thank you, Jerry.
Alan?
The 4s have been good for Jeff here at Indianapolis. Won the race in 1994, 2004, 2014. If you like numbers, those are pretty good ones. And the biggest number of all for Jeff, 5 wins at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Incredible. The fans love him. His crew's certainly loving him. The victory celebration at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway after Jeff Gordon wins the Brickyard 400 for a 5th time. We'll come back, have the victory lane ceremony, and the kissing of the bricks at the Speedway. 1994, he won the first of 5 Brickyard 400s. Did it again in 98, 01, 04, and now today in 2014, blasted his way past Casey Kane on a restart with 17 to go, maybe willed his way is a better term, and pulled away over the final laps to score his record 5th win in the Brickyard 400. Our Goodyear Superior performer today, Jeff Gordon, winds up taking home the checkered flag for an unprecedented 5th time in this race. The 9th win here for Rick Hendrick. And now he's driven to victory lane. Our victory lane presented by Pennzoil. Here's Jeff.
NASCAR's first 5-time winner of the Brickyard 400. Jeff Gordon getting some celebratory kisses from the family. You did it, my friend. How does it feel to be back in victory lane at Indianapolis?
I don't think there's a greater feeling as a race car driver and a race team, because that's what it took today. Total team effort to be here in victory lane in Indianapolis. Whew, I'm exhausted.
What's going through your mind on that last restart, 17 to go, and as Alan Gustafson told us in the interview just before it, that's the race. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm not very good on restarts and wasn't very good today. And I finally made the restart of my life today when it counted most. And I knew we had a great race car. We just need to get out front. Casey kind of, hung back, and I, kind of got a little ahead of him, and I had to back up. And I was able to stand his quarter panel. And once we got down into 1 and 2, I could hear him getting loose. I was kind of glad he took the inside because I really wanted the outside. Man, and I got to thank him. He raced me awesome and clean because it could have got real ugly down there. And once it got clear of him, I was like, I can't believe this is happening now. No caution, please, no caution. Such a great guy. I got to thank Exalta, Finish Masters on this car. We cannot do it without them. AARP, Drive to End Hunger, Pepsi, Valvoline, Chevrolet. Gosh, I cannot believe that this just happened.
You certainly are one who understands the history of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What's the significance to you to be a 5-time winner here?
I was trying so hard with 10 to go not to focus on the crowd. I could see every once in a while glance up there and see the reaction. I was trying not to let it get to me, not think about it too much. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. And yet you can't help it. It's such a big race. Such an important victory, crucial moment in the season and championship, and those emotions take over. Have my kids here. Oh my God, there's nothing better than coming to victory lane, especially in one of the biggest races with your family here. All I know is my friends back at home, I need to take a vacation more often. This one really is for all those fans throughout the years. And all weekend long, they're saying, we believe you can get number 5. Go get number 5. We got number 5. Yes!
The drive for 5. Jeff Gordon wins at Indianapolis.
Another huge win for Jeff Gordon, and with it, another piece of NASCAR history as Gordon becomes the first ever 5-time winner of the Brickyard 400. Let's take a look at some more numbers behind this victory for Jeff Gordon. 90th career Sprint Cup win, and that puts him 3rd all-time on the win list. 2nd win this season, and 9th Indy win for Hendrick Motorsports. The winner, Jeff Gordon, spoke with Bob Dillner.
How fitting is it that it's Jeff Gordon Day here in Indianapolis, the 20th running of the Brickyard 400, and this guy wins a record 5th time here in the Brickyard 400. Does it seem like you're dreaming?
It does. I guess it was just meant to be, you know, and when you have a race car like I had and a race team like we have this year, you know, and things going your way, even a restart went my way for a change. So I guess it was just destiny in the making for Jeff Gordon Day here in Indianapolis. And gosh, what an awesome feeling this is to win again at the Brickyard. It's just such a special place. And then to do number 5 in a season where we're having just a spectacular year.
Let's talk about that final restart, because you struggled a little bit on some of them here today. You got up on the wheel.
Well, one I struggled because I spun the tires, and that was on me. Another one I struggled, Harvick didn't take off in front of me. That last one, you know, I kind of said, all right, I'm going to come rolling, and Casey said, I'm not going to come rolling. So he's back there. I'm waiting for him to get back in front of me at the start-finish line, and luckily the timing of it worked out really well, where I was able to stay on his quarter right as we went into one. When I did that and I squeezed him down, he got a little bit loose, and I was able to get by him on the outside. And I knew that if he chose the inside and I could do that and get by him either off of 1 or off of 2, we could win this race, and that's the way it worked out.
Did you know how sideways you were coming off the corner?
Well, you know, I knew I could hear him on the throttle. I knew I didn't want to lift much, but I could. His car was just pushing me around a little bit, and so, you know, I had clean air. I had something to lean on, but I didn't have a lot of grip. So just glad it worked out.
90 victories now for you in your NASCAR Sprint Cup Series career. Mark Martin always once said, you know, you never know when your last win's going to come. And you're inching towards the latter part of your career, 42 years old. What does this win mean to you at this point of your career?
It means so much, and I don't want this to be my last win, but if it is, that's a great way to go out. You know, I'm rejuvenated this year. This team has given me such an incredible race team and cars, and, you know, it's making me look good, and that's what I've had throughout my career when we won races and championships. And, you know, I've got to do my job, but boy, when I have a race team like I have right now, it sure makes my job a lot easier and a lot more fun.
And a boost in confidence, of course. You had that victory, but that's second this year. How important is this as you inch closer to the chase to go after that championship?
Oh, this win was huge today. This win was huge. You know, to get number 2, you know, and such. Everybody knows how important this race is to win, how hard this race is to win, which teams win this race. You know what that does to their confidence. It certainly did a lot of great things for us as it relates to our you know, where we're going to be placed in this chase. But we got a little bit more work to do, and this kind of win can just boost that confidence, go get that as well.
How'd the bricks taste?
Oh, I love those bricks. My wife doesn't need to be jealous, but let me tell you, I love those bricks.
Jeff Gordon, now a 5-time champion of the Brickyard 400.